If being right is what is most important to you, you may in fact end up being wrong. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 5, the Torah portion, Emor. Let's go to the last chapter of this portion, Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 24. Let's drop down to verse number 10. The son of an Israeli woman, whose father was a Mitzrayim man, went out among the children of Israel. An Israeli woman's son and a man of Israel strove in the camp, and the Israeli woman's son blasphemed the name and cursed. So they brought him to Moshe. Now his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan, and they put him under guard that it might be declared to them at the mouth of Yahweh. Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, "Bring the one who is cursed outside the camp, and all those who heard him shall lay their hands on his head, and all the congregation shall stone him." Wow. This story is very strangely, in many opinions, juxtaposed next to a command to bring clear olive oil for the lighting of the menorah, and a call for fresh bread to be placed on the table of the bread of presence every Shabbat, and that the priest should consume the previous bread. So what in the world, how does this work? I do struggle a little bit with the placement of this story, but it would seem to be in regards to doing things the right way. Clear olive oil, not olive oil that is filled with debris, but rather that which is clear. Rashi talks about, the ancient rabbinical commentator, if you don't know who Rashi is, talks about taking the olive and squeezing it until the first drop comes out, and then that olive is discarded for other purposes. But it's that first drop that is the clearest. He talks about the fact that it's not oil that has been filtered or strained, but rather clear oil from the very moment of its productivity or its production. Then we're talking about fresh bread, not that which is stale, but that which is fresh. And then it's understood that the bread stayed fresh in the presence of Yah, even hot, for a week. Then we come to that which is out of line, out of sorts. So we have that which is done right, and then that which is done wrong. A couple thoughts on this as we look at verse 10. Number one, it's a son of an Israeli woman. His mother is an Israelite, an Israeli. His father is a Mitzrayite. He's from Egypt, or Mitzrayim. So this man is of a mixed race. With his father being Egyptian or a Mitzrayite, he has no tribal alignment. Although his mother is from the tribe of Dan, his father has no claim of inheritance. And as his mother is a married woman, she does not, I do not think, I may be corrected on this, I would not think that she has an inheritance among her tribe from her father, in that she is married to someone else. So this young man, or man, we're not told exactly how old he is, but I assume a younger man, is in no man's land, so to speak. It's contrasted with the idea that he is struggling with a man of Israel. So the man that he is contesting with is one who is a part of Israel, has an inheritance, has a hope and a future in Israel, and they struggle. We're not told what the struggle is about, just that evidently it came to such a fierce or a heated debate, striving one with the other, that the mixed race individual, the young man, curses the name of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Now, why would one resort to that? I'm not real sure, other than the fact that perhaps he was blaming Yah at the root of his problem. that he was being excluded, that it was a decree of Yah and not just, well, common sense says they got to have a place to go. But your God, the God of these Hebrews here, will not allow me to go in. I find this very intriguing in this light. We have a heated argument at least out of words, if it didn't come to blows. And instead of trying to calmly work it out, evidently there was emotions involved. Evidently there were harsh words spoken. If it could have been used with or discussed calmly, rationally, going to the elders, asking for help, what are my options? What can I do? This man felt so pushed, so stressed, that he made a fatal mistake and ended up getting stoned to death because of the words that came out of his mouth. Compare this thought. In the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, Yeshua says this in verse 25, "Be well-minded with your opponent." The King James says, I believe, if I remember correctly, agree quickly with your adversary. Be well-minded with your opponent promptly while you are on the way with him, lest your opponent deliver you to the judge and the judge to the officer, and you be thrown into prison. Finding a way to agree. Even in comments, even this week, there have been comments made pertaining to some recent videos theologically disagreeing. I'm not going to yell and scream. Yelling and screaming doesn't make my point any more valid than anyone else's. I'm not going to deny what I believe just to get along. But we can say what we need to say, or what we should say, calmly, rationally, back it up with Scripture, and leave it at that. And some will either agree with you or will agree that we disagree. But either way, we can agree. In the Hebraic roots community, one of the things that we are very, unfortunately, well known for is our demeanor toward one another. I've been around long enough in the last 20 years of this to see and know there are those who should not be in the same room together, that they have a history, a negative history. We're welcome to all of our opinions. We're welcome to all of our advantages and viewpoints. You're welcome to study the Scriptures and see what you see and learn what you can learn and learn from one another. But to name call, slander, malign, throw verbal bombs at one another or someone else just because they don't agree with you doesn't make you right and doesn't make them wrong, or vice versa. You can have the right understanding on something and be wrong in the way that you present it. Well, we have to understand, and when we study the Scriptures, that the text often is available to multiple interpretations, multiple applications. The Word of Yah is like a diamond that if you hold it up to the light and you look in the light, at one angle you'll see a particular facet and fire and color spectrum, that if you turn it, however, and look at it from the other side, you may see something different. Looking at the Scriptures, especially between the house of Joseph or Ephraim and the house of Yehuda, we're seeing the same thing, but from different sides. We need to learn from each other and stop slandering and accusing each other. So this is a practice we need to learn. Shabbat Shalom to you, to all who gather with you. All those who are by yourselves, Shabbat Shalom especially to you. Be encouraged, be lifted up, speak nice to one another, and we'll see you again next week. Until then, shalom.